Are you ready to add a pop of color in your next project? Come join me and I'll show you how to use the Build a Garden Esplanade flowers in your next memory keeping project. See you in a bit. Right there, Natalie with you today with a new episode of Inspired by a Card with Natalie. And today we're going to be using the new Build a Garden Esplanade flowers to create a very vibrant and colorful memory keeping layout. And the inspiration for today's project actually comes from Emily Midget. She created this beautiful card for the April release. And what I love it is the colors in this, some of the bases of how she built it. So I'm going to start by actually bringing some of that into my memory keeping. So I pulled my stamp wheel and I'm actually using one of the new alignment corners for my stamp wheel to create all my florals. So you're going to see that I'm bringing the Esplanade flowers. This is the Build a Garden Esplanade flowers. I'm bringing the stamps and I'm going to set them all in a A2 card. This is Nina Solar Crest 110 pounds. So you're going to see that I'm going to set it up on top of my cardstock. Then I'm going to get my flip plate. Just put all my stamps in one place, add some obsidian ink, and stamp all of them. I'm going to say that I stamped four of these sheets. I only end up using three of them, but it's good to have extras. So once I have all my paper stamped, then it's ready to use the stenciling set that comes in this Build a Garden to actually add the color. And one of the beauties of the stamp wheel is actually that once you set up your stencil, you can actually press on the sides of it and it attaches to the sticky mat. So it makes it super easy to create all these images. So you're going to see that I want to use colors that are pinks and purples. So I'm going to use different colors. You can find them all in the description here. But I'm going to be starting with rose quartz, and then I'm going to go into those fuchsia tones. And for the purples, I started with soft lilac, then went into wisteria, and ended up with in the darkest bright purples that I can find. And I just followed the number in the pamphlet that tells you exactly what stencil to use and how to rotate it to create my petals. Took me no time because I don't have to be using washi tape or anything to hold this down. The stamp wheel does all the work for me on the sticky mat. I just have to press on the sides and it sticks to the mat. It makes it super easy for me to color. So like I said, I use pinks and purples for my florals, and then for my leaves I'm going to use really bright greens, and it's super easy. The stencil is very easy to work with, and once I have them all ready, then I'm going to add a bit of detail. Now, the Build a Garden Esplanade flowers, which is what I'm using right now, in this stamp set, it actually has one that creates little lines just to add detail. And because if you look at Emily's card, it's really bright and she has a lot of dimension in the coloring, I'm actually going to opt to add these lines by using the darker color pink that I could find, which is rhodolite, and then the darker color green that I can find, which is jasper. I believe it is green jasper. And you're gonna see that once again, I'm gonna set up all these images on my flip sorry, on the flip of the stamp wheel, and then I'm just going to add the colors and stamp it all at once. Super simple. And again, I'm gonna using the alignment corner to keep the paper in place, and then I'm able to just lift the flip gate, add color, add the next paper, and continue on. It makes it super easy to create a lot of flowers at once. Once I have that, I'm going to use the add-on die for the Build a Garden Esplanade flowers to cut them all apart. So while that is happening, I'm actually going to create the background for my layout. And if you see Emily's card, she actually used 3D embossing folder to create a dimension. I don't want to add that much dimension because again, I'm working on a 6x8 album. I don't want to add bulk. So my choice is I'm going to kind of cheat that part by adding that stencil. I am using the grid stencil. Once again, I'm helping myself with the stamp wheel. And this time, because the stencil is smaller than the paper, I'm using a 6x8 and a 7x7 paper. So I'm going to do both of them. I'm going to actually use a little bit of purple satin masking tape for this, just to hold the stencil in place. So I'm going to fill the 6x8 with the image, and you're going to see that I started at the top. I lined the edge of the 6x8 to the top of the sticky mat of the the stage. And then I'm just going to add strawberry ink through the stencil with my ink blending tool. Then I'm going to move it up and just continue the design. And I'm going to do the same with the 7x7. Now here's where we're going to get into adding more bold colors. I looked through my card stash to find cardstock that match that fuchsia tone. This cardstock is called Bubblegum. So I cut a 7x8.5, which is the base for my layout, and I cut another one out of white cardstock that is 7x8.5. So I have two of my mats. I am actually going to bring the same idea that Emily had to the one side of my layout. So you're going to see that she had two big pieces of colored cardstock with a little trim that brought like a pop of color. I'm going to do the same by using the purple, a bit of purple edging and a little bit more of the bubble gum. So I have one paper is going to be white, and you're going to see that I'm going to glue my 7x7 stencil sheet on it and then just kind of frame it with those big pieces of cardstock. And on the other one, I'm actually going to use the 6x8 stencil paper that I created as the background for my layout. So before I continue, I'm not doing anything yet. I'm just going to start setting up the idea. When you look at Emily's card, she has the sentiment as the focal point for her card. I'm going to replace that by a bigger picture and then add the sentiment and the title next to it. But I want to have the same idea of the flowers kind of cascading from the top right corner to the bottom left corner, and then the sentiments in the middle. I'm going to replace the sentiment with the picture, but I want to create that diagonal look. And then on the other side, I have two other pictures. I want to bring some of that purple just to anchor my picture. So I cut I think it's 3/4 of inch of the purple cardstock. I'm going to set my pictures on top and continue the kind of like the corner look of the flowers. And I'm using the Build Up Garden Esplanade flowers for this. I'm just creating a little cluster at the bottom. I make sure that I don't cover any of the photos, and then I'm just gonna glue it in place outside of the camera so I don't take away the time. What I do want to have, and it's the same thing that I saw in Emily's cards, I want to have clean edges. That means that once I'm happy with glue and everything, I'm gonna take it to my small guillotine and trim all the excess. I want these bright clean edges for my layout. Once I have that, it was all about building, a title and creating like a extra pop of color. And if you see again, I'm gonna, refer back to my inspiration, which is Emily's card. She used black against that bright orange and like fuchsia that she has on it. It pops a lot. I'm gonna use black too, and a different what do you call it? A different graphic or a different design. I have a lot of straight lines, so I'm going to bring circles. I am using the Hello Friend stamp and die to add some words. I'm stamping the word hi twice and the word hola, which is hi in Spanish, twice, using my stamp wheel and Obsidian black ink. I'm going to use the die to cut them, and I'm going to use this sentiment as part of my title and also to create extra I'm going to say interest on the other pictures, and that's going to create my triangle so that I have like that nice balance on my layout. So you're going to see that I use my stamp wheel, I stamp the images, I'm going to take them off camera and die cut all the pieces. I'm going to use the hola on top of my title, so to the left of the picture, and I'm going to use the other ones on the top and bottom of the right layout, or the other half of the layout. I'm going to bring the bold sentiments stamp set to create just a small sentiment. I'm going to stamp it with Obsidian black ink on the side, and then just not die cut it. I'm going to fussy cut it, sorry. And then just add it to the bottom of the larger photo. That's all I'm going to add. Actually, not true. I added a few of the black enamel dots just to kind of bring everything together. My Lancer journal are going to go right next to the left of the top picture on the right, and that's about it. I really had fun putting this together. The new Build a Garden Esplanade flowers. It's beautiful, very versatile. There's a lot that you can do with it. And as always, you can find more details on the blog. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. See you very soon. Take care, guys.
Hello there! Did that video just spark your creativity? And do you want more project ideas and inspiration videos too? Well, if you do, please make sure that you subscribe to the Alternate YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you do click that notification bell so you don't miss a video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.